Hey guys, and welcome to another journal with me. This time in my planner, we are going to set up my planner spreads for October, which includes my October calendar as well as a few weekly spreads. We're actually finishing off my very first Yamamoto paper insert, so yeah, let's just get to it. So hi, how are you? I hope that your September has been good to you so far. Don't ask me how mine is going. It's been a time, let's just say that. I guess I just wanted to do a bit of a voiceover today because I have been getting a lot of really awesome comments and supportive messages about my hand lettering, which is really awesome because I think I talked about this in an earlier video, but I really want to get back into hand lettering and just having something in my arsenal rather than relying on stickers or my label maker. So yeah, I've been hand lettering a lot recently using the materials that you guys saw me haul. It's been going really well. I am definitely very rusty, but the more I practice, the more it kind of comes back to me, which is really nice. And very conveniently, I was in need of some day of the week stickers for my planner just because I like having stickers because you can sort of customize the size and still have all the details that you want without having to fight a pen or a pencil. I took some of my hand lettering, I scanned it or copied it into a digital file, and then I made stickers out of it, which is really cool. Another perk to having a sticker cutting machine is that you can literally just cut stickers for yourself whenever you want. So yeah, that's what you were seeing me pull out earlier in the video, and you'll see me use throughout these spreads. And then I guess for the rest of the video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about hand lettering and my journey with it. I've gotten some questions and DMs about it, so I wanted to kind of blanket answer that in case you had any curiosity or you wanted some tips and tricks on getting started with hand lettering. I started hand lettering way back in high school, and I wasn't one of those people who had fancy headers for my notes. I loved to doodle in the sides of my notes, pretty much just like every other person out there, but instead of drawing things, I would write things just because, I don't know, I've always liked my handwriting, so handwriting and hand lettering has always been my bread and butter. In college, when I got into bullet journaling, I got more into brush calligraphy, and there's tons and tons of free materials online for you to learn how to do brush calligraphy. I personally just watched a few videos and then built off of my knowledge of cursive. So in the US, we're forced to learn cursive, or at least we were forced to learn cursive when I was in school, and I have kept up my cursive over the years just because I actually think it's faster in writing for me sometimes. So that really helped for my foundation with lettering and brush calligraphy. And then after college, I actually worked at a stationery store for a few months. While I was there, I had the opportunity to actually really up my hand lettering game because they essentially gave me free classes, and then I would take those free classes and teach people how to do hand lettering. So it's like you didn't even need to have a background in hand lettering to teach hand lettering because they would teach you how to teach hand lettering. Anyway, I ended up taking those classes and then teaching some hand lettering classes myself. So yeah, that really helped me in improving my hand lettering because once you're able to explain it yourself, then it's definitely a lot easier for you to internalize. And yeah, I guess other tips and tricks that I have is to start with a regular pen. I would not go out and buy a brush pen if you want to start brush lettering, just because you are forced to learn how to do the strokes and which parts to make thick versus thin if you use a pen, and it just really drills in cursive and spacing and which strokes go where. So I think that is super helpful when you're starting to learn. Also, just brushing up on your cursive. Again, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world, but again, I spent a year learning how to write cursive. I personally really loved it, and I still do. So that gave me a really strong foundation, and I think that it can be really helpful if you're starting out too. It helps to make sense of brush lettering a lot more if you do have that cursive background. And then as for materials, when you do move into using a brush tip pen, I would experiment. It might cost you a little bit, but honestly, just buy like a black pen and different kinds of pens. So for example, try a black Fude Touch pen versus a black Tombow dual brush pen. Those are two wildly different brush pens in my opinion, because the Fude Touch is very small, whereas the Tombow dual brush pen is gigantic, and you will really see the difference in how you have to control the pen. And for some people, they really like a giant loosey-goosey pen a lot more. I personally prefer a small tip that has more control, a little more stiffness to it. So for me, the Fude Touch is my bread and butter. I have it in like 10,000 different shades for all occasions, and you'll see me use them in all of these spreads essentially. And then as you get really good with one pen, you start adapting your skills and your knowledge to other pens, and it kind of just grows from there. I would say that I am still really bad at using bigger brush pens like the Tombow Mono or the Stabilo 68 brush pen. They're just a little too loosey-goosey for me, but again, it just comes with practice, and eventually you'll know what works for you and what doesn't. It's very situational and very personal, very unique experience to each person. So have fun experimenting. I know it kind of sounds daunting, but honestly, half the process is messing up, and you'll have fun eventually when you start to get it looking like you want it to do. And I guess I want to emphasize that another part of hand lettering is that you don't need to do brush lettering, you don't need to do calligraphy. A lot of my hand lettering is not. It's sometimes just goofy scripts or bubble lettering or just adding a drop shadow. Playing around with all of these fonts, and also sometimes having like an appendix of all of the different fonts that you like to do will help you diversify your hand lettering throughout all of your spreads. You'll see me use a bunch of different techniques that I've developed over the years. I've copied from other creators and created myself throughout these spreads, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about hand lettering, is just there's so many ways to make words look cool. 샛별 I guess the only comment I want to make on these planner spreads is that I am no longer doing daily spreads. I don't do daily checklists. I just have one giant checklist because life has become a lot busier recently, and so I can just make one giant to-do list on the right side of the page and it kind of just works. I don't need a whole other page for it, which is really nice. I've also taken to using a small chunk of the page to make a list of audiobooks that I have available that week. If, for example, I have some audiobooks available via Libby, which is the library audiobook app, or if I finally have my Libro FM credits. And I am honestly rethinking that now, looking back on this, because I have a little bit of audiobook burnout, not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to listen to any more audiobooks even though I have a bunch to listen to. So yeah, I don't know, I might change that part of the page, but I don't know to what yet. And yeah, I guess that's it for me. I don't really have much else to say. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ramble on. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I so appreciate all of your love and support on these videos. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!